In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, the boy with a lot of play. And yes, I am a classic man. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the one and only Balls and Tees. And guess what? If it's the first time you hear my voice on the airwaves, then you definitely have been listening to the wrong frequency, because Balls and Tees is the place to be, especially when we talk about social golf. We talk about anything that has to do with golf. We are not just local, we are international. We touch places that no other podcast around South Africa touches. We go to Russia, we go to Ukraine, we go to Indonesia, Malaysia, wherever it is, name it. And I just want to say to everybody out there, thank you for the continuous support that you have been showing us from the get-go. This is our second season, and this is episode 5. As you know, from the get-go, from the first season of this, from the first episode of this season, it has just been blazing hot. Now, today, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I always say get yourself an ice cold glass of water. Today, I need you to get a 20-liter bucket of water, not just because the show is hot. No. It's because here in Gauteng, there's been a lot of hailstorms, and I want you to actually melt that ice with that water. So what we're going to do right now, we're just going to take a 2-minute break, and then when I come back, I will be introducing our guest. In that 2 minutes, make sure that you get something to refresh, because it's about to get really hot. So let's go for that 2-minute break, and then let's get back to business afterwards and introduce our guest who's eagerly waiting to get into this conversation with me.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I promised you before our break, we are going to have a hot episode. So for those who just joined in now, it is the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, on the frequency. And I hope you've got that 20-liter bucket of cool water so that you cool yourself and then you melt the hailstones from these storms that we're facing nowadays. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, I would really like you to help me introduce our guest for the evening, who is none but the only Mr. Mashilu Nick Matseke. And then we will be having a beautiful conversation. Mr. Matseke, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you for having me.
Awesome stuff. Ntate Matseke, I always try to hype people up and introduce my guests in a very auspicious way, but I don't think that I've really done much justice. Perhaps if you can just take the mic and then reintroduce yourself on a thorough note to tell people who exactly Nick Matseke is, what's happening in your space, and how did you find your love for golf?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. And my name is Mashilo, surname Matseke. I know a lot of people still know me as Nick, and every time somebody say Nick, I go like, well, this must be my former classmate or a colleague. So,
Yeah.
so that name is actually being used for a very good purpose, because it was just for my work and my school. So those things I'm long past, and now I'm back to Mashilo Matseke, and yes, known as Nick. Look, I am a financial advisor by profession, And
Mhm.
obviously, I work as an executive at Matseke Business Investment.
Mhm.
Started at corporate level, Discovery in particular, and established MBI at some point. Our field of
Mm.
expertise, it's more about giving advice on certain categories of insurance. So,
Mhm.
besides the lifestyle of golf, I'm an
Mm.
athlete. I ran about
Yeah.
14 Comrades marathon in my life,
Sure.
finished all of them, and I've taken part in um, quite a lot of marathons around Gauteng, in and out of again the country. And I happen to also um, done 13 two oceans marathons. So
Sure.
there's about I think two green numbers and one blue number. Well, it's two blue number, one green number. So in essence,
Mhm.
I've done 14 comrades, 13 two oceans, and I've done just 10 Omnidam marathon. Those are your ultra marathons. And
Mhm.
I'm a very passionate golfer. I play golf at least 3 times per week, and
Wow.
I clear my mind through the sports because that's where the social life is.
Mm.
Um, if you ask me what actually made me to end up being so active in either golf or athletics, was
Yeah.
precisely about trying to sort of stay healthy. That's number one and obvious. But
Mhm.
again, I don't think I had passion for running, to be quite honest. I never liked it. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm being honest, Tony. I hated running so much that my first marathon was only to prove to my peers that I can also do this. And
Mm.
because they keep on coming to me until such a time that I decided I'm going to try this and I'm going to show
Mhm.
you because I liked just building my upper body to look nice then. And
Yeah.
also had a passion to sort of um, do some short films in acting and stuff like that, which didn't last
Oh,
longer.
nice.
And when
Mm.
they recruited me for running, I said, but what am I going to get out of this? Just running. I was so,
Mm.
so negative about it. But thanks to my friends, thanks to
Mhm.
everyone that recruited me, including the former president of the Lions, a very good friend
Mm.
of mine. Obviously, I won't mention his name, but he's well
Mm.
known. He came to me and said, my friend, we need to do this. And the day I said yes, I think I
Mm.
received almost 40 emails from him telling me what I need to do, what type of running shoes I need, and stuff like that. And I was already heartful, but that heartful actually
Yeah.
motivated me to go and run and just prove to him that I can do this thing. So ever since
Mhm.
my first medal, in short, I never look back. You know,
Mm. Mm.
I never look back. So I
Wow.
equate this passion to
Mm.
golf. Golf
Mhm.
was something very intimidating to me, to be honest. So
Mhm.
because I found myself in the business where I engage professionals and clients and like-minded individuals on the course, a good
Mm.
friend of mine who happened to be a business partner has invited me, and he did not
Mhm.
prepare me. So um, here I am. He booked the four ball. I'm included. We play
What?
in Park View. You know, he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're going to
Mm.
play at Park View." Um, you know, fun enough, I remember vividly that I was wearing the formal shoes. You know,
Mm.
and I just come out of work and we have the afternoon tea off. I have to hire
Mhm.
everything from shoes to glove. And as if
True.
it's not enough, every single shot was
Mm,
surprisingly not going high, let alone slicing and all that. I was actually asking myself, is this a trap?
mm,
And and I hated golf so much from that day because the whole day I embarrassed myself.
mm, 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 mm,
I could not hit the ball.
mm.
A friend of
Yeah.
mine actually never told me. That was the first time. I think it's like nearly 15 years ago.
Mhm,
Then I told myself that if anything, nothing in this whole world ends wrong.
mm.
Everything starts wrong. If the beginning was not well prepared, the
Yeah.
end will obviously reciprocate
Mhm,
and it will reflect and expose the exact beginning that you had actually impact on. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna have to start, get the coach,
mm.
go to the range, and I think this is the attitude with me. I
Yeah.
told myself I'm gonna go back and prove to him that I can also play golf as
Mm,
soon as I got my lessons. So it took me about 6 months of lessons,
mm,
hitting a few shots, uh, gentlemen being very patient with me,
mm.
but until such a time I gained confidence. And before you know it, I was the one who actually annoyed them by inviting them every second day about golf.
Yeah. You develop the passion after being thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, I remember I read somewhere where they say in any man's success, there's always a fear that's standing between him and just going uh,
Mm.
to reach their objectives. And I think it was a problem with me because all these things were intimidating me so much that if I can't do it right, then I don't
Yeah.
need to do it, you know.
Mm, mm.
But if somebody actually throw me into the deep end on that particular time and then I know what to rectify, I still thank them so much because ultimately I developed the passion.
Mm, mm. Now, Mr. Mateka, let's talk about the two different spaces. Well, you mentioned three spaces, of which one being marathon, which is fast-paced, I believe, and it requires a lot of endurance. And then the acting, which I believe it's more than just the physical appearance, but obviously your state of mind needs to be clear because you have to remember the lines. And then now we're talking about golf. Now, with these three different spaces which require different energy levels, how did you then adjust from one to the other every time you just stumble upon these invites or these challenges that were brought to you by your friends?
Yeah, very good question because I guess it was a question of number one, I hate a vacuum time. That's the
Mm,
first. I always wanted to keep myself busy. If it's not studying, it must be physical activities or work. And that's how
yeah.
I've really tried to map out my day. And
Mm,
I wanted to use my time for things that I feel can ultimately be written into the history books about myself. So
mm,
I know zilch about acting. I don't want to lie to you. A friend of mine who happened to be a director actually
mm,
invited me because when I was 26, 27, I was one of those
mm,
people that had decided to buy such a big car because
mm.
you want to be filled presence wise and I'm in business. So what, you know?
Yeah.
So for that particular reason, he said to me, we need you, your physique, and again, at least you have something that we can use in that film because the short films weren't
Hmm.
necessarily your big short films. It was just when they started this um, exposure in terms of the talent from
Yeah.
young actors, etc. So I happened to be in the mix, and then I said, no, it's fine as long as I'm still working and I can be able to but then I will be able to do it for the sake of my maybe passion. But eventually I decided, no, man, this is not for me. So it was for a
Yeah.
very waste of time. As for the running, I find time. My day start 4 a.m. I tell my
Mm.
peers that if
Yeah.
anything, come rain or shine, if I have the program to prepare myself,
Mm.
even my wife knows this very well, that 4:30,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the road, half and half,
Mm.
making sure that that 2 hours I clock 21 kilometers within maybe 1:45, 1 hour
Sure.
45 minutes. I'm back at home, preparing
Mm.
myself, taking kids to school, drop them off at 7. And I was even bragging on one of the WhatsApp group, telling friends that I'm the first one in the
Mm.
office and the last one to leave the
Mm-hmm.
office. But I still have the two
Mm-hmm.
hours that I spend. So early morning
Yeah.
is very important, Tony, for anything.
Mm-hmm.
It is so important. Then I
Mm-hmm.
have my whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Then I ask for a just one day of the week to perhaps
Mm-hmm.
participate in golf at work. They know it's standard.
Yeah.
And I will play golf at least 2 to 3 times per week,
Mm-hmm.
because other days will be off the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. No, that's quite interesting. Now, I just want to find out. I mean, you're so involved in sports as a whole, if I can put it that way, or in making sure that you're keeping a healthy lifestyle. Now, if anything that I want to find out from you is if you were to look at golf and the athletic aspect of your life, are there any lessons that actually pour into each other space to say, okay, maybe in athletics, like I said, endurance, stamina is one of the most important thing, or any mental lessons or mental disciplines that you actually picked up from the marathons and incorporated them into your golf, or vice versa?
Yeah. Tony, I can say this in my mother tongue. Firstly,
Mm.
I tell my peers that if it so happened that God takes everything and then
Mm.
ke sala ke sena selo, at least a ntlogelele health.
Mm.
And
Mm. Mm.
and if I have my health, I think I can still try and pick myself up. I can't imagine a day without trying and invest in my health. Of course, at some point we're going to have comorbidities, but now
Mm.
we have the opportunity to delay those comorbidities. Two things that will keep
Mhm.
you healthy is fitness and happiness. And through
Yeah.
fitness, you are then able to sort of like what you see, the development
Mhm.
of your body and the endurance that comes with it. The sleep,
Yeah.
just by sleeping enough, gives you so much peace
Mhm.
and happiness that a lot of people don't realize that. And again,
Mhm.
because you sleep on time, you wake up on time. The fact that you have time management aspect of it, it's easy for you to achieve those little goals, because the first thing that
Mm.
is very, very, very important in our life is time. If
Mhm.
you fail to manage time, you are
Mhm.
more like a person who failed to manage their own money. And that's
Mm.
precisely how I was taught. And again, getting into interviews, meetings, and everything, whether you are 5 minutes late, it's a sign of disrespect. You don't do that. You
Mhm.
tell people that you
Mhm.
can't make it. So, for that, it helps me so much about how best can I manage my time, how best
Mhm.
can I rather prepare myself. I may not
Mhm.
have everything, but at least let me be proud of the health, the fitness,
Yeah.
and ultimately
Mhm.
build my happiness through it.
No, 100%. And the reason I was actually asking that, I mean, you know, on the golf course, at least there's options to say, am I taking a cut or am I taking the long walk? Now, from an athlete like yourself, I just want to get an idea. Which one would you prefer to do on the golf course? Taking that long walk or just a cut for the day to say, you know what, I ran in the morning, now I need to take a rest?
I hardly take a cut. I
Mm,
don't. I do not take a cut. In actual
mm-hmm,
fact, in some of the courses where I'm forced to take a cut, I
mm-hmm,
hop on and off the cut. I sometimes walk, you know, and my mate
yeah.
was looking for me, and I said, no, but I'm catching up. I still have a conversation with myself. And
Mm,
I enjoy that so much. And besides,
mm,
it actually contributes to my golf, and it helps me perhaps to prepare for each shot as I
yeah.
walk towards my ball. And I'm used to it. I don't know at what point I will
Mm-hmm,
think I need to use a card, because using a card deprives you a little
mm,
contribution of fitness that you may have gained by just
mm,
taking a walk. And I just don't like using the card.
mm, mm. Okay, no, that definitely makes sense. And like you said, it helps you prepare for the next shot and you're able to have those small conversations with yourself. So, Mr. Matek, I just want to find out, as the director and the founder of MBI, right? Which basically, like you said, you focus on corporate clients and SMEs. I just want to find out how important the golf course environment is to you as the founder and director in when it comes to building and nurturing relationships with your clients.
Yeah, just not so long ago, I was telling my mate that
Mm,
if anything, every golf course is
mm,
a place where you find the like-minded individuals.
mhm,
Uh, one way or the other, they will discuss their field of expertise, be
mm,
it they have influence in their companies
yeah.
or they are decision makers in their companies. It took
Mhm,
me time to actually understand that concept.
yeah.
And as I understood the concept, then I thought, then what are the target markets? Because not everyone on the golf course
Mm,
will somehow give you the synergies that you're looking for.
yeah.
So, so you need to work on those two things. One, your target market, field of
Mhm,
expertise. So MBI, obviously, the first thing that I always say as a standard rule, I tell my colleagues that
mm,
client is the main ingredient of our success. So without a client, any shops will close. It doesn't matter which type of shop. It can be a bank, it can be a law firm, it can be an engineer company, it can be anything. For as
mm,
long as there's no client, there's absolute no need for
mhm,
that to operate, because those are the ingredient of our success. In actual fact, they are the main ingredient. So when
mhm,
I look at why should we then set up an operational ability for these people to knock at our doors,
yeah.
I thought to myself, and I hope I'm not going past your questions. I thought to myself
Mm,
that instead of waiting in my office for
mm,
the client, I must go to the client. Where do I find my client? It's not
mhm,
at the soccer field. It's not at the stadium.
yeah.
They are there in
Mm,
the golf course, because
mhm,
8 out of 10 times, these are your
mm,
decision makers. These are your uh, company owners. These are the
mm,
like-minded individuals that I can certainly classify them as a target market. And as if it's
mhm,
not enough, I will then make it much more comfortable by getting them
mhm,
in one room. It can be the club, restaurant, or anything, just so we sit and at times have a discussion. And before you know it, business needs to be circulated amongst ourselves. And that's not monopoly.
Sure.
It's an ideological common objective.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Mr. Mateke, I think we can take our 3-minute break right now, and then when we come back, I actually want us to delve more deeper into the social golf aspect and business as a whole, to say how do we then capitalize as golfers on the golf course, or as entrepreneurs on the golf course, to make sure that we do not miss those opportunities, and what can one look out for when having conversations with people on the golf course, in order for you to first outsell yourself, and secondly to solve solutions, because I believe every single business objective is to solve solutions for his clients. So if we can go for the 3-minute break, and then when we come back, we will delve more into this conversation, and we can get your insights on it, sir. Awesome stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going for that 3-minute break, and then when we come back, please make sure that in the interim you refill those 20-liter buckets of water. I am sure they are empty at the moment, because like I said, we're going to have an insightful conversation. And there's something that our guest actually pointed out today. I thought he was just into athletics and golf, and then he mentioned something about acting. So we learn as we converse with people. So it was a great one to find out. So let's go to that break, and then when we come back, we'll definitely find out a bit more about Mr. Mateke, his universe of golf, and his business as a whole.
Invisible Inc. Consulting, your gateway to financial success. We specialise in providing the best solutions to manage your finance and accounting, ensuring a better life for you and your business. Our expert team offers top-notch accounting and tax consulting services tailored to various industries, including but not limited to engineering, medical practitioners, in construction, non-profits, events management, attorneys and financial services. Experience the power of our best analytics, backed by a commitment to our clients and a high level of knowledge. At Invisible Inc. Consulting, we strive to deliver the best service you can get, making your financial journey seamless and rewarding. Choose Invisible Inc. Consulting for a brighter financial future. Your success our priority. Please visit us at www.invisibleinc.co.za to reach us. www.invisibleinc.co.za.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the lush greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter. The Magician.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is still the one and only Tony Tone on Balls and Tees. And like I said, if it's the first time that you hear my voice, you've probably been listening to the wrong frequencies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hottest podcast when it comes to golf talk. And the Magician is here to make sure that I give you a little bit of a whisk from my side, to make sure that you understand what's happening around you when it comes to golf, most particularly in normal communities, not professional golf, but under normal circumstances where people can actually sit, network, create relationships. So this is Balls and Tees. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined today by the director and founder of MBI, Mr. Mateke, and he is still waiting for us to make sure that he gives us more information about his space or his universe when it comes to golf and his business. Mr. Mateke, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Thank you so much. Now, before we went on to the break, you mentioned very crucial points when it comes to business, to say clients or customers are your main ingredient, and you find it very unruly for yourself to just sit in the office and say that the clients will come. Rather go out into the golf course and put them into one room or have those conversations with them. But before we actually dig deeper into that, I just want to find out from your side, in your own ways, to say, when someone mentions the word social golf, what does it particularly mean to you? Because often under circumstances, people would say no, it's just an environment to relax or it's just for fun. So I just want to find out from your side, as someone who's in business, someone who is dedicated to what you do, whether it be playing golf, whether it be athletics, whether it be business. I just want to get that perspective from you, sir.
Yes. If you come across somebody calling themselves a social golfer, please remember these words. The biggest difference between professional and amateur is the direction of money. So professionals get paid to participate. Social golfer pays to participate. So that's what I'm trying to explain, that in as much as I don't make a living out of it, I'm passionate and still playing it as at the social level.
Yeah.
That's precisely what it means.
100%. So the other is getting paid while the other is spending money.
Yeah. The other one is actually paying to participate, and the guys will obviously get paid to participate. They actually get an invite to participate, and everything is covered probably, but they will still be getting paid.
Yeah. No. I think that is a very solid explanation, and I will keep that one on the records because it definitely makes sense. Now, with that being said, I mean, you mentioned that you try to play at least twice or three times in a week, and you being a director and a founder of MBI, right? And having to spend so much time with different individuals on the golf course. I mean, a round of golf roughly lasts about 4.5 hours to about 5 hours, depending on the pace of the course on that particular day. So, yeah, many people would go on the golf course for that 4 to 5 hours, and then conversations start coming up. I mean, I would presume that people would talk about literally everything in the world to say, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is my family structure. Well, depending on how the conversation goes. Now, I want to understand on your side, as someone who's business minded and are on the golf course to actually make business, how do you then drive conversations or take whatever information or conversation to your advantage so that it aligns with your business objectives?
Yeah, trust me, I've mentioned acting. So acting, I'm gonna give an example with acting. Acting, you could be on set for nearly the whole day, but only appear on the screen for about 2 to 5 seconds. You understand?
Yeah.
So 8 out of 10 times, you are not going to clinch the deal at golf on the day you meet a stranger.
Yeah.
It's an introduction, and somebody needs to actually know. They must have a human touch on who am I dealing with, because golf on its own is designed in such a way that it reveals your character. Trust me, I can be very impatient with people who have no etiquette when it comes to golf. And if you judge me based on that, it's okay. But at the same time, I find a lot of guys that actually resonate and understand that there's an etiquette. And through that, we start to have some common views about how can we sort of play, and conversation just flow, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not always that you're going to meet a golfer that has got something to give. In actual fact, and I hate to break this down, there's a lot of golf groups, and in golf groups, there's 10 credible men and 60 clowns, if I may put it that way, because there's people who does nasty things and obviously go with the opportunistic mentality on the golf course. So I'm just saying and using this word for everyone to be careful of exactly who they engaging when it comes to a golf, because it can be over exaggerated. So
Mm-hmm.
not always that I will have sort of somebody that can exchange business with my company. It is
Yeah.
just maybe 6 out of 10 times, which is 60% of the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, that's very interesting, and I think that's where a lot of people have actually been misinterpreting the whole concept of conducting business on the golf course. Because, like you said, there's opportunists out there who would mainly just go out there to say, you know what, if this person doesn't really talk the language that I would talk, then we there's no need for us to continue with the conversation. Now, I think what you just said builds up to my next question, because I was going to say to you what I've noticed over the past couple of years is that a lot of young professionals are then have started moving away from your traditional networking sessions, and a lot of you'd find a lot of them getting more involved into golf because they have this ideology to say that that's where business happens. Now, one thing that which is also part of what you said, you mentioned etiquette, and etiquette would go with the setting itself, the environment that one is in, I would presume. I just want to find out if we're talking about a golf course setting or a social golf event setting that would be suitable for business conduct. Maybe let's say a golf day. Yeah, let's say a corporate golf day that enables that environment where different stakeholders from different entities or different backgrounds would be in one place to create those networking opportunities. What would you say would be very crucial in such environments? Or yeah, what would you say would be very crucial to allow those kind of conversations to happen in such environments?
Well, you need to be very strategic when it comes to your your potential client. Remember what I said to you, there's a target market, but there's also individuals that understand exactly what you're looking for. I'll give an example with MBI Golf Days.
Mm-hmm.
These golf days of MBI was found just when the lockdown was starting to ease on faces. And we then decided, remember we used to occupy the stadium suite at Wanderers as
Yeah.
our office slash suite where we sort of have our VIPs coming to watch cricket and stuff like that.
Mm.
We ultimately decided, I mean, we are now sitting on the stadium and there's absolute no one coming in. There's no walk-in, bro. It's just a stadium. It's
Mm.
you understand? The,
Mm.
the the next movement you will see in the stadium during lockdown, it will be like a cat going across the stadium looking for a snack. And you're sitting there, you are stressed as hell. Everything is done by then, virtually, telephonically, etc. So you can't wait the day they say you're allowed to go out there.
Mm.
The closest I will have will be I will play golf at Wanderers as and when I get a chance, watching my
Mm-hmm.
office. No one is coming in, no one is coming out. It's just waiting for me. It's too quiet, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not just quiet. It's sad. People lost their
Yeah.
job. Economically, we're not doing well. And
Mm-hmm.
how do I then start to build my company from where it's left off? And I decided then, as soon as they open, we must go to the client. No more
Mm.
waiting for a so-called client. We
Yeah.
arranged ourselves to get a booking at CCJ then, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a very good turnout.
Mm.
The business networking was not only about MBI. There are other businesses
Mm-hmm.
where guys will obviously exchange their business. I was only
Mm.
running the networking session and advising guys on issues of it's very important for you guys to circulate the business, and in exchange of business, you're supporting each other's business. We already
Mm.
have a chain of network where there are different professionals and they can use each
Mm-hmm.
other's going forward. So I brought the concept. and bring it to life. I've booked the lounge and making sure that when they are relaxed and seated, the introduction must be so loud that you stand up with the mic and introduce yourself or what do you do, just so we know. Please bring your business card with, be on the register book, and make sure that you are known for what you are doing for a living, just so I can come to you when I need service, when I need you to help me. And then, well, some of the gents came back to me to thank me for the setup because they managed to find synergies with some of the golfers. Ever since
Lovely.
then, Tony, I can tell you we never look back. Today we go in the
And
fifth.
that's 100% what I would envision as well, to say, when one does a golf day, like I said earlier, you're bringing people from different backgrounds, different professions, and for them to be in one room, you're not just exploiting opportunities on your own, but you're also creating opportunities for other professionals from different backgrounds. So there's something that you shared in relation to business. One of your philosophies where you say that they develop a vision of the good life, devise a plan for how to attain it, go for it, and check their progress along the way. Now, I would like to ask you particularly, and it would go around playing golf as well as planning and executing a proper golf day from your end. Would you say that the whole concept of planning and execution when it comes to a round of golf mirrors that philosophy that you have in your business?
Yes. In actual fact, that is very personal because every man and woman out there, they are capable of becoming the business owners. Remember, employee has a potential to become employer, because now the concept and the previous concept has always been I become an employee waiting to get pension. So that should come to an end where an employee should put together exactly what they've accumulated experience-wise to become employer. So by so doing, we will then be able to create as much opportunities as possible, including employment. And I always say to them that if you want to thank me for what I had done for you, do not come to me say I thank you. Rather look for somebody who find themselves in the situation where you found yourself when I was helping you, to help that person, because by so doing we'll have actually broke the chain of this disadvantage and bring it to something better, just so everyone can have the opportunity. But lastly, Tony, I told people that when it comes to legacy, it's never about the material, tangible stuff. In my view, legacy is when somebody can make a living out of your wisdom.
Yeah.
And that's how I've tried and accommodated everyone that gravitates towards benefiting from us. I say to them, I can only show you the ropes because I cannot afford to make you overnight success. But all I can do for both of us is to perhaps give you my expertise and share with you and show you and equip you and empower you and educate one another. Let be a continuous professional development. Let's develop this together. And ultimately, that's how we go back and check what we have planted. But again, wrapping it up, I said to them, when you eat fruits, you don't throw away the seeds. And that's precisely how you keep evolving.
Yeah, no, Ntate Matseke, such wisdom is needed in these times. And I like the fact that you said it's not tangible stuff, but it's more about creating a legacy from the wisdom that you have. Because if you can plant a seed, like you said, you don't throw away the seeds, rather plant it so that the next person can actually plow from it and the cycle continues. I really value that, and I appreciate you sharing that with us, because often in life we are of the ideology to say that just because I do not have tangible resources to establish a business, whatever efforts that I make will go to no fruition. So you've planted a seed amongst myself and my colleagues, as well as all the audiences that's listening, to say whenever you've got a seed in mind and you've already exhausted it, or you've eaten the fruits of that seed, rather plant it so that the next person can actually plow it. Just to move on to something a bit more relaxed, Mr. Mateka, I think this is something that will definitely disrupt it has caused a disruption in the professional golfing space. And since it's coming here in South Africa, I actually want to get your views on it, to say, when you look at Leaf Golf, which is the new in thing right now, and when you look at it from your professional investment, finance, and sports background, what is your thought when it comes to the impact that it may have within the entire country?
Look, thank you for the question, and this is just my opinion. I remember one of the media personnel asked me, and I said, golf, it's not sports, it's a business, because the economic impact that comes with this particular sports called golf actually can somehow carry a village. It can carry a GDP. It can contribute to our well-being, and that's precisely where Live was, in my views, was designed to perhaps put together such a huge, substantial amount of money to attract good golfers, etc. Even a so-called average golfer will want to be the best, and you can only be inspired by what is on the table. And tell you today, none of the golfers in the whole world will decline any offer, except for those who actually think they've made it already. But I'm talking about people who will want to perhaps get the exposure. So Live coming to South Africa, I think it's a huge economic impact to our economy, the GDP, etc. But at the same time, it's something that we got to learn exactly how professionals get it, because it's amazing, Tony, how as human beings, all 8 billion human beings in the world actually are given the similar opportunity by God. 2 limbs, eyes, hands, legs, 2 eyes, same size of mind, etc. But some are super special. And you ask yourself that, what actually distract me from achieving this? Because we are given similar amount of time, which is 24 hours. Am I playing with my time? Am I not investing my time in this thing? I mean, you can go look for what these guys do. They practice daily. They took it as a profession, and I don't know, why are we not getting there?
Oh, that's impactful. But I mean, from if we take it back here to South Africa, like you said, there's a lot of money that's been invested in Live Golf, and a lot of professional golfers, even your average professional golfers, would kill to get that opportunity to be a part of those 54 players on the field. Now, if we're talking about economic impact as a whole, I mean, we're talking about SMEs, we're talking about unemployment and things of such nature. Do you personally feel that Live Golf comes with opportunities that can enable or that can improve the current unemployment rate or the current GDP, like you said, when it comes to the South African business market?
You said the conversation is more relaxed, but now you're cornering me, and I'm gonna say this anyway. uh, remember,
Yeah.
let's count now. We're counting 4 months, Tony.
Yeah.
How long have we known that Live is coming to South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's
ask
been a while.
ask any ordinary business person on what do they do to gravitate towards the opportunities that it comes with. Ndanga, if you're doing nothing, you've got yourself to blame. There's so much that you can do. That's why I'm saying in group of girls, there's always incredible men and 80 clowns. So we will talk until leave comes and go. And there will be a fewer well-prepared individuals to perhaps gain out of it. And we will still watching them from the fence. And that is their problem. All we know, and you said I must say it, all we know is to bend the tire and ask what is in for me. We are known for that.
Yeah.
We are known for
very true.
Because at the moment, we were supposed to be gathering in the lecture room to find out what is our creativity taking out of this? What are we doing? Do we have a retail shop to actually design some very nice sneakers for these boys? Some actually hats, something to entice, everyone wants to sell alcohol. That's precisely how far we can go.
Yeah. I fully agree with you. And like you said, we've had ample time to actually apply our thoughts around how we can actually take advantage of Live Golf. Now, just to move away from Live Golf, Ntate Matseka, I'm certain that as a golfer, you've noticed a rise in golf simulators across the world, and there's even professional competition that's been held where people don't really have to go to a golf course and they just play on these simulators. Do you think that something like that would really work in South Africa, or do you think it something that would be appealing to our so-called social golfers here in South Africa?
Well, in my views, again, I think some of these designs are made specifically to sort of accommodate an avoidance of weather kind of a situation. If it's raining and all that, indoor golf and something that can assist to satisfy the passion will be good. But I can tell you, nothing that looks like golf will replace golf on the course. And that's my philosophy. Maybe laid back,
Yeah.
I have all the gadgets. I can be honest with you. Even being on the range, it's still not enough. I need to tee off.
Yeah.
I want to see where that ball lands, and it has to be on the fairway. And then I have to hit my shot, whether around the green or on the green, pat it through. And that's my fulfillment. But any other thing can really give me the same satisfaction.
I like your answer. It's very honest, and I agree with it 100%. Now, with that being said, I mean, we are heading towards the end of our episode. I just want to find out from you. You mentioned that you've played, give or take, around 15 years. Now, already, I would presume that one of the worst moments or the moomish moments you've had on the golf course was your first time on the golf course wearing formal shoes, and you just had a rough day. But I want to find out your highlights on the golf course in Tatematseke, because I've so often heard people celebrating their successes on the golf course, especially social golfers, to say, listen, I've had 3 hole-in-ones, or I've had the opportunity to win our school's annual competition for 5 consecutive years. So I want to find out from your side to say, what would you say are your highlights when it comes to this lovely sport? And apart from your first day on the golf course, what is the one Moomish moment that you'd like to share with our audience?
The momish, like as in embarrassing myself.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, damn. Um, okay. Look, the playing on formal shoes was one of those. But my friend is so kind. He actually
Mm.
accommodated me, and
Mhm.
I thought to myself as I get to learn that you know golf is actually made of a company that you keep more than just a game itself. And
Mm.
8 out of 10 times, people that embarrass me are people that I don't know. Some will have a conversation that is somehow irritating as you
Mm.
play, and it can get into you. I'm one
Mhm.
person that do not hesitate to call you out if something like that happen.
Mhm.
And I can't be really specific, but I remember pulling out on I think it was the 12th hole because
Mm.
we started from the back nine with a gentleman, and the other one happened to be a very famous DJ that we playing golf with, and the
Mhm.
other gentleman actually, he kept on saying stuff, and that threw me off because
Mm.
the conversation on its own actually start to stuck into your afterthoughts. And as
Yeah.
you play, you always try and process exactly what you have received from this gentleman. And at some point, they both giving each other parts. And I was very close to the hole, but I decided
Mhm.
let me part it because it's not like I'm expecting them to just do the gimme or stuff like that. And then the
Mhm.
DJ guy said, no, but Chilos, you can take that one. And the other one said, no, not the way he puts. This guy might
Wow.
not think the ball. You understand? And Tony, I must
Mm.
be with you. I laughed at that moment, but I was very angry. I said to him,
Mm.
You know what? I think I have important things to do. I'll pick up the ball. I don't
Mm.
care what I paid 750 to play. You can take it.
Yeah.
I will rather go look for the guys that are willing to play golf with me. And trust me,
Mm.
the guy even had the audacity to actually tell other people on the group that Mashilo pulled
Mm.
out what we're playing, as if I'm a bad person. But I felt like I don't have the capacity to continue if we're going to be like that. For me, that's embarrassing,
Yeah.
one. And two, it's laughable. But three, at least play with people that have something called respect to each
Yeah.
other. I've looked at it that way.
Mhm. No, 100%. I agree with you. Respect is of utmost importance, especially in a field or in an environment where everybody is deemed to be a gentleman, and everybody is deemed to be respectable in their own sense. So I really, really agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so it's more like a grievance than just a laughable. But it passed. But I
Yeah.
still remember that vividly. Like it haunted me for a very long time. And I said, but what the gentleman wanted to achieve out of this, but still not getting answers.
Mm. No, no. And then, Mr. Matsake, just before I let you go, I mean, I would really, really uh, like for our audience to be able to reach you as well when it comes to business-related matters. Where exactly can they reach you? And then, whilst sharing that, may you also share some words of inspiration or words of encouragement to people who were also intimidated by golf, just like yourself, to say how do they get into the game and what would be the best approach, as your opinion?
Well, I said this before, and I've always been saying that
Mm.
every man's biggest enemy is their thoughts. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say men, I mean men and women.
Mm.
So whatever you think it's impossible, it's always impossible because of your belief. Just
Mm.
like when you create that negative thought, you start to have a fear, and that fear ultimately graduate becomes a nightmare. It wakes you up, and
Mm.
you're just having very, very bad dreams. So
Mm.
happiness is very important, because a happy person
Mm.
think you really need to position yourself to a point where you must decide two ways of life. There's a
Yeah.
noise which needs attention. You must
Mm-hmm.
decide whether you want to listen to it or you want to continue with the journey, because noise will delay you to your journey, but
Yeah.
ignorance will give you the wisdom to carry on with your journey. It is always the
Mm-hmm.
case that a lot of people dreams actually die before they realize those dreams, because they had to invite a second opinion, even if it's a stranger. So one way or the
Mm-hmm.
other, you've got yourself to blame if you don't ensure that your dream is put it into practice and realize that
Mm-hmm.
dream. You have to pursue your dreams. I believe there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of potential businessmen and women who are held up by a fear. So they need to
Mm.
conquer them. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And where can people actually reach out, or how can people reach out to MBI? Even institutions that are currently listening to the podcast, how do they reach out to you?
MBI is based in Waterfall, at the Waterfall head office, just behind the World of Golf, between Woodmead and
Mm.
Waterfall. And we are at 54 Maxwell Drive. That's as if
Mm-hmm.
somebody wants to have a walk-in visit.
Mm-hmm.
We've always had a satellite office in Cape Town,
Mm.
because there obviously one or two clients that we trying to also grow with them. And otherwise, you go
Mm-hmm.
to our website, www.matseke which is singular,
Mm-hmm.
matsekeinvestment.co.za. And some will obviously prefer to just go to info@matseke.co.za, matsekeinvestment.co.za. And if they call, then they can reach out on 010 005 5942, and that's
Mm-hmm.
our office line.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Mr. Mateka, I really, really appreciate your insights and your inputs into today's conversation. And I believe that both myself and our audience have really, really learned a lot. Like, if anything that stood out for me throughout this conversation is when you spoke about wisdom and the seed. And I think that's something that um, ignites life into people. Hearing such words ignites life into people, because many times, like I said, we fail to understand how important it is to share what we know with the rest of the world, or to share what works with the rest of the world, because by so doing, we're breaking chains of disadvantaged mindsets. So I really, really appreciate all the inputs, and having a chat with you today. It was a breeze, and I hope and I look forward to greater things from MBI, and I hope to one day meet you on the golf course and maybe have a round of golf with you.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the time, and I'm glad that you actually are sharing the same sentiments. And hopefully, we will catch up again, like you say.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. That's Ntate Mashilo Nick Matseke, who is the founder and director of Mateka Business Investment. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a blast today, and you know how I operate. I always say that if you're working on Thursday, then there's something wrong because we gotta play golf, ladies and gentlemen. Golf is life, and life is golf. You cannot separate the two. And if you're working on Friday, then we definitely need to sit down, you and I, to discuss how to make sure that you are out there on the golf course. If anything I can tell you is that all opportunities are available on the golf course. If you want to talk science, there are scientists on the golf course. You want to talk medicine, there's medical doctors or medical professionals on the golf course. If you want to talk entertainment, there are entertainers on the golf course. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I shall sign out right now. I'm the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, the boy with a lot of flair. And yes, this is Balls and Tees. Please make sure that you follow us on our social media pages and make sure that you catch up with all the episodes that you missed if it's your first time listening to us. But nonetheless, every Wednesday, 6 p.m., you will catch us. We are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcast, and we are on our own platform, www.ballsandtees.golf. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tony Tone signing out. Thank you. See you again next week. I love you guys.